Welcome to Old Valuable Coins, the place where hidden treasures come to life, and the coins in your pocket might be worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we're diving into a fascinating journey through four incredible Lincoln pennies that collectors are constantly searching for: the 1952D, 1954D, 1955D, and the legendary 1969 1-cent coin. Stay with me till the end, because one of these coins has shocked collectors with its unbelievable value. Let's start with the 1952D Lincoln Wheat penny. The 1952 D1 cent coin is part of the famous Lincoln Wheat cent series, one of the most widely collected and historically rich coins in United States numismatics. This coin carries not only monetary value, but also deep cultural and historical significance, representing a time when America was growing rapidly in the post-war era while still honoring one of its greatest leaders, Abraham Lincoln. Understanding this coin in full detail requires exploring its design, production, minting characteristics, historical background, varieties, grading factors, and current market value. The obverse of 1952, D-cent features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure instead of symbolic imagery. The profile of Lincoln faces right, with the word Liberty inscribed to the left side and the year 1952 placed on the right. Just below the date, you will find a mint mark D, indicating that this coin was produced at the Denver Mint. The phrase "In God We Trust" arches above Lincoln's head, reflecting a national motto that became especially meaningful during the mid-20th century. The reverse of the coin displays the classic wheat ears design, which give the series its popular name, the Wheat Cent. Two stylized wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, placed above. This design symbolizes prosperity and agricultural strength, themes that were highly relevant during the early and mid-1900s. The wheat design was used from 1909 until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The 1952 D-cent was struck in large numbers, with a mintage exceeding 746 million coins. This high production volume means that the coin is relatively common in circulated condition, and many examples can still be found today in pocket chain collections, coin jars, or inherited coin hoards. However, despite its abundance, the coin becomes significantly more valuable in higher grades, especially those that have been well preserved over time. The composition of the 1952 D-cent is primarily copper, consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gives the coin its characteristic reddish-brown color when freshly minted. Over time, depending on how the coin is stored and handled, it can tone into brown or develop a mix of red and brown hues. Collectors often categorize these coins into three color designations: red RD, red-brown RB, and brown BN. Fully red examples are the most desirable and valuable because they retain their original mint luster. When evaluating the condition of a 1952 D-cent, collectors rely on the standard coin grading scale, which ranges from poor P1 to mint state MS70. In lower grades such as good G4 or very fine V20, the coin will show significant wear, with Lincoln's details appearing flat and the wheat ears losing their sharpness. In extremely fine EF40 condition, more details are visible, but there is still noticeable wear on the high points. Uncirculated coins, graded MS60 and above, show no signs of wear, although they may have minor contact marks or imperfections from the minting process. One of the most important aspects of collecting the 1952 D-cent is identifying high-quality mint state examples. Coins graded MS65 or higher are considered gem quality and can command significantly higher prices in the market. These coins exhibit strong luster, sharp details, and minimal blemishes. In rare cases, coins graded MS67 or above are extremely scarce and highly sought after by advanced collectors. Another interesting aspect of the 1952 D-cent is the possibility of minor varieties and errors. While there are no widely recognized major varieties for this specific year and mint, collectors often look for small differences such as die cracks, repunched mint marks, or subtle doubling in the lettering. These variations occur during the minting process and can add uniqueness and value to an otherwise common coin. The historical context of the 1952 D-cent also adds to its appeal. The early 1950s were a time of economic growth and stability in the United States following World War II. Coins from this era circulated widely during a period of expanding industry, suburban development, and technological progress. Holding a 1952 D-cent is like holding a small piece of that history, a tangible connection to everyday life in mid-20th century America. In terms of value, the 1952 D-cent is generally affordable in circulated condition, often worth only a few cents to $1 depending on its grade. However, uncirculated examples can range from a few dollars to several $100s, particularly for coins with strong red coloration and high grades. Exceptional specimens, especially those certified by professional grading services, can achieve even higher prices at auction. Collectors often store their 1952 D-cents in protective holders or albums to preserve their condition. Proper storage is essential to prevent damage from moisture, air exposure, or physical handling. Over time, even small environmental factors can affect a coin's appearance and reduce its value. The popularity of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series ensures that the 1952 D-cent remains an important part of many collections. Whether you are a beginner just starting your coin collecting journey or an experienced numismatist seeking high-grade examples, this coin offers both accessibility and depth. Its combination of historical significance, classic design, and collectability makes a timeless piece in the world of coins. Now, let's move on to the 1954 D Lincoln Wheat Penny. The 1954 D1 cent coin belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Cent series, a long-running and historically important group of coins in United States numismatics. This coin reflects a period in American history when the country was experiencing economic growth, industrial expansion, and increasing global influence following the Second World War. At the same time, it honors one of the most respected figures in American history, Abraham Lincoln, whose image appears on the front of the coin and has remained a symbol of unity, leadership, and resilience for generations. The obverse of the 1954 D-cent features the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday, making it the first time a real historical person was depicted on a regular issue United States coin. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription, "In God We Trust," a phrase that gained deeper cultural importance during the mid-20th century. To the left of the portrait is the word liberty, while the year 1954 appears on the right side. Just beneath the date, you will find the small D mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse of the coin displays the classic wheat ears design, which is why these coins are commonly referred to as wheat cents. Two stylized wheat stalks curve along the left and right edges, framing the central inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. This reverse design symbolizes agricultural prosperity and national unity, values that were especially meaningful in the early and mid-20th century. The wheat reverse was used from 1909 until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. The 1954 D-cent was produced in very large quantities, with mintage of over 251 million coins. Because of this high production, the coin is relatively common, particularly in circulated condition. Many examples were used extensively in everyday commerce, which means that lower-grade coins are easy to find and generally have modest value. However, the story changes significantly when it comes to higher-grade examples, especially those that have been carefully preserved and show little to no wear. The composition of the 1954 D-cent is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This copper-rich alloy gives a coin its distinctive color and weight. When freshly minted, these coins exhibit a bright, reddish luster that collectors often describe as mint red. Over time, exposure to air, moisture, and handling can cause the surface to darken, resulting in brown or red-brown tones. Collectors categorize these coins into 3 main color groups: red RD, red-brown RB, and brown BN. Fully red coins are the most desirable because they retain their original appearance and are typically better preserved. Grading plays a crucial role in determining the value of a 1954. D-cent coins are evaluated on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state MS-70. In lower grades, such as good or very good, the coin will show heavy wear, and many details of Lincoln's portrait and the wheat ears will be worn down. In fine or very fine condition, more details are visible, but there is still noticeable wear on the high points. Extremely fine coins show only light wear, with much of the original detail intact. Uncirculated coins, classified as mint state, have no wear from circulation, but may have small marks from the minting process. High-grade mint state coins are where the 1954 D-cent becomes more interesting and valuable. Coins graded MS-65 or higher are considered gem quality and can command significantly higher prices than circulated examples. These coins display strong luster, sharp details, and minimal imperfections. In very rare cases, coins graded MS-67 or higher are extremely scarce and highly prized by advanced collectors, often selling for substantial amounts at auctions. Although the 1954 D-cent is not known for any major, widely recognized varieties, collectors still search for minor errors and unique features. These can include die cracks, slight doubling in the lettering, or repunched mint marks. Such variations occur during the minting process and can add a layer of interest and potential value to individual coins. The historical context of the 1954 D-cent adds another dimension to its appeal. The mid-1950s were a time of relative prosperity and stability in the United States. The economy was strong, consumer goods were widely available, and the country was in the early stages of what would become a long period of growth and innovation. Coins like the 1954 D-cent were used daily by millions of people, making them a direct connection to the everyday experiences of that era. In terms of market value, the 1954 D-cent is generally inexpensive in circulated condition, often worth only a few cents above its face value. However, uncirculated examples, particularly those with full red color and high grades, can be worth significantly more. Prices can range from a few dollars for lower mint state coins to hundreds of dollars for top-quality specimens. Coins that have been professionally graded and certified tend to attract higher prices because their condition has been verified by experts. Proper storage is essential for maintaining the condition of a 1954. D-cent collectors typically use coin holders, albums, or protective cases to shield their coins from environmental damage. Exposure to air, humidity, and handling can cause discoloration and reduce a coin's value over time. By preserving the coin carefully, collectors can ensure that its appearance and worth remain intact for future generations. The enduring popularity of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series ensures that the 1954 D-cent remains a staple in coin collections around the world. Its classic design, historical significance, and accessibility make it an appealing choice for both new and experienced collectors. While it may not be the rarest coin in the series, it offers a rich combination of history, artistry, and collectability that continues to captivate enthusiasts. Next up is the 1955 D Lincoln Wheat Penny. The 1955 D1 cent coin is part of the well-known Lincoln Wheat Cent series, a classic and historically important group of United States coins that were minted from 1909 to 1958. This coin reflects both the artistic tradition of American coinage and the historical environment of the mid-20th century, a time when the United States was experiencing strong economic growth and global influence. Like all Lincoln cents of this era, it honors Abraham Lincoln, whose leadership during one of the nation's most difficult periods made him one of the most respected figures in American history. The obverse of the 1955 D-cent features the familiar right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, created by Victor David Brenner. This design was first introduced in 1909 and marked a major change in U.S. coinage, as it was the first time a real historical figure appeared on a circulating coin. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription, "In God We Trust," which had become deeply meaningful during the Cold War era. To the left of Lincoln is the word liberty, and to the right is the date 1955. Just below the date is a small D mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse of the coin displays the classic wheat ears design, which give the series its popular name, Wheat Cents. Two curved wheat stalks frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, while the motto E pluribus unum appears above. This design symbolizes unity and agricultural strength, reflecting the values of the nation during the early and mid-1900s. The wheat design remained in use until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The 1955 D-cent was struck in very large numbers, with mintage of over 563 million coins. Because of this high mintage, the coin is considered common, especially in circulated condition. Many examples were used heavily in everyday transactions, which means that worn coins are easy to find and usually have only modest value. However, like many coins of the Lincoln series, the 1955 D-cent becomes more desirable and valuable in higher grades, particularly those that have been well preserved. The composition of the 1955 D-cent is 95% copper, with the remaining 5% consisting of tin and zinc. This composition gives the coin its characteristic weight and color. When newly minted, the coin has a bright reddish appearance, often referred to as mint red. Over time, exposure to air and handling causes the surface to tone, resulting in red-brown or fully brown colors. Collectors classify these coins into 3 color categories: red RD, red-brown RB, and brown BN. Fully red coins are the most valuable because they retain their original luster and appearance. Grading is one of the most important factors in determining the value of a 1955. D-cent coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state MS70. In lower grades, such as good or very good, the coin will show heavy wear, with Lincoln's features appearing flat and the wheat ears lacking detail. In fine or very fine condition, more detail is visible, but there is still noticeable wear. Extremely fine coins show only light wear, with most details still sharp. Uncirculated coins, graded mint state, show no wear from circulation and retain their original mint luster, although they may have small marks from the minting process. The 1955 D-cent is especially interesting because it exists alongside one of the most famous era coins in American numismatics, the 1955 double-die cent. However, it is important to understand that the famous double-die era was produced at the Philadelphia Mint and does not have a mint mark. Therefore, the 1955 D-cent does not exhibit this dramatic doubling and is a separate, more common issue. Still, collectors sometimes examine 1955 D-cents closely to check for minor doubling or other small errors, although these are typically much less significant than the famous Philadelphia variety. In higher mint state grades, the 1955 D-cent can be quite attractive and valuable. Coins graded MS65 or higher are considered gem quality and are sought after by collectors who want the best possible examples. These coins display strong luster, clean surfaces, and sharp details. In very rare cases, coins graded MS67 or above are extremely scarce and can command high prices at auction, especially if they retain full red color. The historical context of the 1955 D-cent adds to its overall appeal. The mid-1950s were a time of prosperity and optimism in the United States, with rising consumer confidence and rapid development in technology and infrastructure. Coins like the 1955 D-cent were part of everyday life, used in countless transactions across the country. Today, they serve as small but meaningful reminders of that era. In terms of value, most circulated 1955 D-cents are worth only a few cents to perhaps $1, depending on their condition. Uncirculated examples can range from a few dollars to significantly higher amounts, particularly for coins with strong red color and high grades. Professionally graded coins often command higher prices because their condition has been verified by experts. Collectors typically store their 1955 D-cents in protective holders, albums, or cases to preserve their condition. Proper storage helps prevent damage from moisture, air exposure, and handling, all of which can affect the coin's appearance and value over time. Maintaining the coin in the best possible condition is essential for long-term collecting and investment. The 1955 D1 cent coin remains an important part of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, offering collectors a combination of historical significance, classic design, and accessibility. While it may not be as rare or famous as some other coins from the same year, it still holds value and interest for collectors at all levels. And now, we come to one of the most exciting coins in this lineup, the 1969 Lincoln Penny. The 1969 1-cent coin is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, one of the most recognizable and widely collected coin types in the world. By 1969, the design had already undergone a major transition from the earlier wheat reverse to the Lincoln Memorial reverse, marking a new era in the history of U.S. coinage. This coin still honors Abraham Lincoln, whose images appear on the obverse of the cent since 1909, making it one of the longest-running portrait designs in American history. The obverse of the 1969 cent features a familiar right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VB, which were once controversial when first introduced in 1909, appear subtly at the base of Lincoln's shoulder. The inscriptions on the obverse include "In God We Trust" above Lincoln's head, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1969 to the right. If the coin was minted in Denver or San Francisco, it may also carry a small mint mark D or S beneath the date, indicating production at the Denver Mint or San Francisco Mint. Coins without a mint mark were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse of the 1969 cent features the Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design was created by Frank Gasparo, who served as chief engraver of the United States Mint. The reverse shows a detailed image of the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., with the inscriptions "United States of America" along the top, "E Pluribus Unum" above Memorial, and 1 cent at the bottom. One fascinating detail of this design is that, under magnification, the small statue of Abraham Lincoln can be seen seated inside the memorial, making this one of the few coins in the world to depict the same person on both sides. The 1969 cent was produced in very large quantities, especially at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. These coins were made primarily for everyday circulation, and millions of them were used in daily transactions across the United States. Because of this high mintage, most 1969 cents are considered common, particularly in circulated condition. However, their value and desirability increase significantly when they're found in high-grade, uncirculated condition. The composition of the 1969 cent is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the same bronze alloy used for most Lincoln cents prior to 1982. This composition gives a coin its familiar reddish appearance when freshly minted. Over time, the surface of the coin can tone and change color, resulting in red-brown or brown examples. Collectors classify these coins into 3 color categories: red RD, red-brown RB, and brown BN. Coins that retain their full red color are generally more valuable, especially in higher grades. Grading plays a crucial role in determining the value of a 1969 cent coins. Are graded on a scale from poor P1 to mint state MS70. In lower grades, the coin will show heavy wear, with the details of Lincoln's portrait and the Lincoln Memorial becoming worn and less distinct. In mid-level grades such as fine or very fine, more detail is visible, but there is still noticeable wear on the high points. Extremely fine coins show only light wear, with most details still sharp. Uncirculated coins, classified as mint state, show no wear from circulation and retain their original luster, although they may have small contact marks. One of the most important and fascinating aspects of the 1969 cent is the existence of a rare and highly valuable era variety, known as the double die obverse. This variety, often referred to as the 1969 S double die cent, was produced at the San Francisco Mint and shows strong doubling in the inscriptions, particularly in Liberty and In God We Trust. This error occurred during the die-making process and is one of the most famous and valuable Lincoln cent varieties. Genuine examples of this coin are extremely rare and can sell for tens of thousands of dollars or more, depending on their condition. However, it is important to note that many counterfeit or altered coins exist, so authentication by a professional grading service is essential. Aside from the famous double die variety, collectors also look for smaller errors in varieties, such as die cracks, off-center strikes, and minor doubling. While these are generally less valuable than the major double die, they still add interest and uniqueness to individual coins. The historical context of the 1969 cent adds another layer of significance. The late 1960s were a time of major social, political, and technological change in the United States. This was the era of the space race, civil rights movements, and cultural transformation. In fact, 1969 was the year of the Apollo 11 moon landing, one of the most significant achievements in human history. Coins from this year were part of everyday life during this remarkable period, making them tangible connections to an important moment in time. In terms of value, most 1969 cents are worth only a small amount above their face value when circulated. Uncirculated examples can be worth more, particularly those with strong red color and high grades. Coins graded MS 65 or higher are considered gem quality and are more desirable among collectors. Exceptional coins in very high grades, such as MS 67, can command significantly higher prices, especially if they are well preserved and visually appealing. Proper storage is important for maintaining the condition of a 1969 cent collectors often use coin holders, albums, or protective cases to prevent damage from moisture, air exposure, and handling. Over time, environmental factors can affect the coin's appearance and reduce its value, so careful preservation is essential. The 1969 1-cent coin remains an important and interesting part of the Lincoln Cent series. Before you go, here's a quick tip. Always check your coins under good lighting, use a magnifying glass, and never clean your coins, as cleaning can reduce their value. Look for mint marks like D for Denver, and pay attention to details like color, shine, and sharpness. So next time you come across an old penny, don't ignore it. It might just be one of these valuable coins waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on rare coin discoveries. And remember, every coin has a story, but some stories are worth a fortune.